these ads kind of are consistent with the spirit of the policy for positions that have field work, casework, or have interaction with the public where they've been using their personal phones. I think the one exception is the caretaker at the camps, but he's out and about, and so the idea there is they can get in contact with him when he's not, not in his residence there.
We're looking for the first.
I'll make a motion.
In a second. Any other discussion?
What's the financial impact of this? Minor.
And this is pre-authorized, it doesn't mean these people have phones, but they're pre-authorized, they have to go through the process if they need it. I'm assuming probably most of them do, but yeah, Greg can talk about what it
A
costs.
phone is about $400 a year in cost. So like in the case of the prosecutors, when they're in town courts, they do need to access files sometimes, and there's no Wi-Fi at some of the town courts, so it's, to help them do their jobs really, so they seem pretty essential.
Thank you.
All in favor? GC 5, resolution creating a budget mod for additional hours for the Department of Motor Vehicles. This is $36,000 from A1410, 542500, for reproduction account of A1411, 514300.
So in our motor vehicle department, we always use additional hours. It's just naturally set up that way. Our seniors get a half hour, additional hour every day just because they come in to set up, and we need them there to make sure it's set up so when employees come in, they can just take over and go. The other part is that we don't just tell people that, oh, sorry, it's 4:45, there's the door, even though you've been in line for a half hour. So we complete the transactions that are inside the door when that closing time occurs. And we've had a dramatic increase in the amount of transactions that we're doing since COVID. So this $6,000 for our estimation will get us to the end of
First and second. Any other discussion? All in favor? GC 7, resolution extension of the credit program for nuclear power generation in New York State.
This is there's an open public comment period now till the end of October for renewal of what's called the ZEC program, the Zero Emission Credit Program. This program helps the financial sustainability of the nuclear power plants in New York State. It's set to expire in 2029. But a decision on renewal will be made by the end of this year. Thinking this is critical to support our local nuclear plants, and without this, there's no thought to any additional plants, which has come up recently in the news. So I think this is would be used to be the Seward County Legislature's public comment to submit and support the renewal.
Looking for a motion.
So moved.
First and second. Any other discussion?
Have you heard of any resistance?
Not much. There isn't much this time around. There was when it was originally proposed, but all the economic studies that have been done on this have found that yes, there's a cost to this, but the cost is less than what it would be to ratepayers if the plant's closed. You'd have to switch to so many other forms of energy that are more expensive and more damaging to the environment. There's about a $50 billion additional cost to the ratepayers over the next 20 years if the plants were to close, and they likely close if the ZECs aren't renewed.
Thank you.
One of the things, while we're talking about it, most of you know I just went to New York City and spoke at a nuclear summit. That went very well, and there's another one this week I'm gonna try to attend. We're expecting that the state is gonna issue a request for proposals or a request for information sometime in October for communities that are interested in hosting new nuclear development. Of course, we've already been on the record we're gonna do that. So that is coming up. And one of the things I wanna do for all of you is, since I've kind of been steeped in this for a couple of years now, in the tax negotiations and this new effort, I'm gonna put together sort of a updated nuclear fact sheet so that everybody on the legislature and department heads will have the same degree of nuclear literacy, call it, because I'm sure that as this initiative keeps moving forward, we'll get questions, and I'll make sure everybody's got the same amount of information.
Looking for a first and second.
I'll move. Second.
Okay, any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Everybody opposed? Thank you.
Budget matters,
Reporting departments, county clerk, you have anything for us?
So, just tracking some potential developments that are coming through with pistol permits. As you saw, the Supreme Court is discussing non-licensing of carry concealed, so we don't know what effect that'll have here, especially in New York, where most likely our state capital will overreact and change the laws drastically, which will then put my line out the door. So we're trying to keep our finger on the pulse with that. The other thing with pistols is we're also tracking a potential change that non-residents, non-property owners may not have to have a residency in a certain county. So what that would do is, let's say an individual from Pennsylvania that comes to Oswego County hunting may apply for a pistol permit here. We don't know what impact that'll have on our county. I'm not saying it'll be negative or positive, but at this point in time, we're just looking for more guidance if that comes to fruition. Outside of that, working with DMV to get our 4 new hires, which are pretty much 95% up and running. They're working windows themselves right now. All offices are up to full capacity except for the, I have a few individuals who are on daily medical leave, so that's intermittent. So some days we are, down a person or two. Outside of that, we're continuing to, and I appreciate Rick Doughton keeping us up to date, but Pulaski Courthouse, that is a disaster up there when it comes to parking, especially right now with the windows. So we're, everybody just has to, if you have constituents that call, tell them to bear with us while we're going through this construction. We're putting in some temporary parking spots for customers only. It's never going to be enough, but hopefully within a couple months we'll have that parking lot back to normal. It's a horrible parking lot to begin with.
Oh, yeah.
So outside of that, plugging away at it here, and if you just have any questions, you're always welcome to stop by or give me a call.
I took the first 2 pillars down.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Oh, yeah.
I guess they're gonna do like 10 windows a day, and there's 53 windows in there, and I don't know. This is what they tell me. So just tell me the end date. That's all I care about.
It's gonna be a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got a lot of great fixtures to do,
Yeah.
repairs on the windows and
They-
stuff like that.
Yeah, one of my employees got backed into by them, and it's been fun.
It's kind of pretty tight quarters down to it.
It's kind of a cluster.
Do we have a sense of the end date?
3 months from now, I was told.
At least.
That'd be nice for.
That'll be great for early voting.
So there is
Yeah.
the fishing part.
And then we have that added on.
Oh, yeah, I got that whole, May Park area.
I think in the past we've put some signage up, haven't we?
Yeah, that's what we're in the process of working out right now between Rick, myself, and John, trying to figure out where we can put some temporary, we put some temporary handicap spots up. But the last week, the problem was they were unloading the trucks with, all the new windows and everything, so they needed space for that. And once, I'm gonna get up there today, so as soon as I leave here, I'm heading there, and hopefully we have all the deliveries taken care of, and we can open up a few more spots, so.
Do they use any of that lawn out front? Most of that's gonna be anyways. Just a thought.
Well, we are having the con contractors, we told them on Friday that they have to park on the streets. They get there first, park on the street and fill the streets, and then we'll worry about customers and employees for the lot.
That lawn is not very good parking, but so busy.
No, I mean, but it's, front half of it's ripped up anyway, so
It'll be before it's done.
3 or 4 vehicles.
But we'll get through it,
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
and we're still open.
Kind of.
Thank you, Terry. Next up, we have strategic initiative updates.
Yep, good morning, everyone. I have really not a lot on broadband, it's moving along as you expect. Rich is over there, I think, but we're just finalizing some of the, bonding information. We've got millions of dollars going out in expenses over the next 2 to 3 months, in preparation of the, install wave in the spring. So all the behind the scenes stuff is still moving. It's funny, we've been working on this for 14 months now, and still not a wire put up yet. A lot of this work is making sure that we control agreements and all that other make-ready stuff done. So it's moving along at the rate we expect it to. We have a weekly meeting with the Connect All office to make sure that we are right where we need to be, and it's moving forward. I would say as good as we can hope for. So any specific questions, I can answer them.
So any update on the ability to use the poles, that other company that's involved?
Yeah, so it's a great question. We have, the company is called Slick. They're out of St. Lawrence County. They did get the SLIC. They did get access to the city of Oswego poles in front of our project. The way National Grid works is it essentially whoever's on the pole gets the rights until they complete the project, and then they'll look at the next one in line. So it was gonna put our project in jeopardy. We had a great meeting on site with both our current company, Empire, our engineers, ECC, and this company, Slicks, and CEOs were all in the room. And we worked on a plan that we think is going to work going forward. That's going to help everyone. It's not quite as good for Empire as you can imagine. They were looking forward to having exclusive rights to the city of Oswego off of our network. I shouldn't say exclusive. Being the first one in gives you a lot of benefit, right? You're the first one in front of the consumers. You get the rights. But the point is, they're working something out that's going to allow both companies to do, I think, well off this project and still allow us to do this project. So,
Thank you.
Thanks, Tom. Any other questions?
Another quick update on the ARPA. We also have been moving to close out the ARPA. We're doing about one a week. Kyle, in my office is. There were, just as a quick reminder, there were 93 of the external projects. 52 of them still need to close. We're averaging about one a week that we're closing those out. Less than 20 have not fully completed.
Any other questions? Thank you. Next up, we have real property. Corey?
Yep, thank you. Just kind of business as usual in my office. A lot of corrections have come in for school taxes, which luckily you don't really have to deal with. It's the school districts that do. But that's good because then they get corrected in advance of county taxes. While it's on my mind, I just wanted to kind of share with the room on STAR something interesting that is kind of an unseen relationship between equalization rates and the STAR program. Is that the STAR program has a full value that the exemption or the check can reach. And as equalization rates drop, that value gets decreased as well. So people are seeing lower STAR savings in a lot of places. And I bring that up because I just got mine, and it was $380, and in years past it was closer to $500. So I think that's a common thing across the board, and if people are asking about it, that's the reason why. There's a full amount that you can get, and the lower the equalization rates go, the more you lose. The schools ask for more money, so you pay more in taxes because of that. So it's a compounding effect. Another kind of, like I said, invisible thing that equalization rates affect that a lot of people don't think about. So another reason to do reassessments and keep assessing units at 100%, and that's why I keep encouraging it, even though it's unpopular.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions?
Yeah.
What are the errors that they've been finding in the tax bills?
Certain things we find is somebody will get, similar to the one that I just brought before you. You know, they have the house that's been assessed with the business all this time, these various improvements and things. The school tax bill is the first bill that comes out after properties are split. So they'll notice those inventory errors. They'll notice that acreage is wrong. They'll notice that they're being assessed for a house that's no longer there. Things of that nature. Those tend to be the corrections that I make.
Okay, they're not errors in the
No. It's always things like that. But it comes down to, you know, they're being assessed for something that's not there anymore, so we get it fixed, or they're missing an exemption. That's actually most of the corrections are. Somebody didn't get their senior exemption, or actually I have about 5 agricultural exemptions that were missed. So, you know, those sorts of things. But it's always good to fix those because those impact county taxes too. So I like those coming in now, so I don't have to do as much work in January. So.
Okay, thank you. Next we have the Sun Council.
Yes, thank you. Not much new to report. We're entering our last grant claiming period, starting October 1st. So I will be focusing on the grant money that hasn't yet been spent towards the end of the year to try to make sure we maximize what we can get from the state. We are focusing on the budget for next year. I just had my meeting with Phil. So we'll be looking forward to next year and how to shift any costs that we can to the public defender pending their staffing. Other than that, just our technology is requiring us to use 2-factor authentication. So we are in the middle of having every judge in the county and every staff in the county and every attorney and every attorney staff in the county getting up to date on the 2-factor authentication, and it has proven to be a nightmare, as anything with technology. Sorry. We're running into numerous problems, so we are trying to work through those, and you know, we thank all the courts and all the attorneys for their patience.
Any other questions? Thank you. Next up, we have board elections.
Well, we're very busy with the parking. That parking thing was kind of new information for me up at Barclay. Early voting starts up there and here in this building in less than 4 weeks, so hopefully, hopefully we can figure something out for Barclay. The people that work in the warehouse came in today. We're going to start getting everything up and ready for testing our machines. All our test decks are ready to go. We have our last 2 classes this week. What else?
Absentee ballots have been sent out.
Absentee
They're
ballots
coming
have been
back.
sent out, the first round.
The last date to register is the 25th. For new registrations, it's, I think, October 31st for address changes, for anyone who's interested. And sample ballots are on the website.
Yep.
Thank you. Anybody have any other questions?
Sorry.
Anyone that wants to come up and take a tour
Who's there?
while we're here, you're more than welcome to
Yeah,
come up
please,
and tour
please
the
stop by
office.
before you leave, for sure.
Oh, I know. Have you seen a uptick in applications for poll watchers? Do you think the change in the rate we pay them affected that?
We
have
did.
a few new.
Yeah, we did after the first article ran about the change in pay. We did see a bit of an uptick. We're still recruiting. We're happy to schedule more training classes if more people express interest.
Do you feel more comfortable with the amount of people that you've got available?
I was happy to see some more people sign up, but we really do need more.
Agree.
Any other questions?
Frank's got one.
Same comment all the time. I mean, you know, the article's in the paper. I mean, you know, he did say that you got problems getting, you know, poll workers. Of course, it's across the state. It's not just, you know,
Right.
not just not here, but, I mean, and you're saying that it's, you didn't basically say that it was a salary, the pay, but, when you're looking at paying less than minimum wage, why wouldn't anybody want to take a job that's less than minimum wage? And we're one of the poorest counties in the state, probably got one of the highest unemployment rates, at least up there. And we still can't get people to take jobs. And I still say, you know, we constantly say, if we want the best, we gotta pay the best. And we're not doing that. The service that's supposed to be one of the most important services that any government offers is the right to be able to vote and to be able to have a good election. And there's a lot of people that say the elections aren't done right, this is wrong, that's wrong, we don't have these people, we don't have those people, they messed this up, they didn't have this here. Okay, and the poll workers, they're there. And I know that at the one meeting, the chairman said that he had two people tell them that they were gonna make more money but have more taken out because of their higher pay. They're not gonna wanna work. Well, when I walked into the pull up, you know, and they're all saying, you know, when are you gonna get us more money? When are you gonna get us more money? And, I don't see why we're not.
Well, we did what
I
we
mean,
could.
6 years ago, I asked for $250. And here it is 6 years later, and we come up with it, and the cost of living and everything has gone up since then.
Right.
And I know that per conversations, that, well, this is what we think we can get passed by the legislature, is this amount of money. And, I'm sorry, the legislature, yeah, they're the ones that approve it. But if you can't get people, then we're not going to have a good, proper election. Somebody's going to question it somewhere. And it's not anybody's fault but us not offering enough money to get the right people in. And these guys, they work hard, and they're working. Try going into a job that's gonna be there from 5 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock at night and not have any mistakes. And you're sitting there. And how many people do you get in a day?
It
A lot
depends
of
on the
times you
election.
don't get, a lot of times you don't get many, then other times you get, you're packed with them. Those people should be getting paid what they deserve to be being paid, and we're not doing it. And until we do, you know, I only got 3 more meetings, and I'm gonna preach this to you guys. But the problem's not gonna go away when I leave. The problem's still gonna be there. So I suggest we start taking another hard look at what we're going to pay these guys, because, like I said, if anything, an election is the most important thing that a government can give to the people. And we've got to start doing something about it, paying the right money. And I mean, I know that it's, you know, I just have to say that because these people come to me, okay? Thank you very much. That's it. I just, you guys gotta change something. I know it's not you guys, but, you know, somewhere something has to be put out that this is what we're gonna pay. We're gonna pay more.
Well, Frank, we did what we could with the budget that him and I walked into. This was the best we could do that was reasonable, being that we just walked in the door in January. We have guidance from the state coming. The state is putting several different things into play. We're waiting to see what happens with that before we move forward with it.
The issue, as we've said before, in order to get them up to a take-home rate of minimum wage, they would have to be paid well over $300, which would make them, and I don't disagree with anything you said. I agree with everything you said. But it would make them the highest paid poll workers in the state. And for our first swing at this, we didn't think it was appropriate to come and make that
That was
proposal.
my next question. What is Cuban County, what is St. Lawrence County, what do they get paid per day?
Well, we submitted I don't have it on me.
I don't have it on me either. Matt made a great chart showing
Of what every county.
every single county, and we were second from the bottom.
Yes.
So we were really bad. He worked very hard on crunching the numbers and getting it. I think you got it within like $10.
It was like $7.
Yeah.
But
To make it the best bang for their buck.
We agree, everything you said is accurate, and the second the state, everything you said is accurate. This is just where we're at right now.
And I understand, you know, I hear what you're saying, and I saw what Matt put out, okay? But before I put that statement out about how much I wanted them to pay, okay, I called one of the North Country, northern counties, and I asked, what do you pay your poll workers? They said we pay them $20 an hour.
Which one was that?
I will find out, but I'll tell you, it was one that, you know, is awful close to us. It was either Livingston or, you know, up in that area. It's not something that can't be done. And as far as your budget, how many times have I seen brought in front of this legislative body department heads that have requested and received more money into their budget because they had more expenses than what, they had anticipated, or what they had budgeted for. Well, I'm sorry, we can do this, we could have done the same thing for you guys. I know what you put out, and I know why you put it out, but you have to remember, we have the money, we do, and we're guaranteeing something. And yeah, we may wind up being the highest paid in the state. We might set a standard that says to the state, if you want good workers in here to ensure your elections are done efficiently and properly, then this is what we're gonna have to pay our poll workers. It's not a large amount of money, and it's not every day. It's something that has to be done. I hear what you're saying, I hear what everybody's saying, well, it's a lot of money, and they're gonna get paid more, and they're gonna get taxed. Well, they have to make that decision themselves. Do I wanna go in there and take this pay because it may cost me more on my taxes? Let them make that decision, not us. Right? But it's right now, you guys gotta look at next year and the year after. That's what you gotta look at, because
We
you
are.
can't do anything this year. I know you can't. Unless you offer a bonus, Come in and get a signing bonus. Or give you free parking or something. But that's it. Thank you very much for your time, Todd. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you for it.
Next up, we need a motion to go into executive session.
Mr. Chairman, the reason is sale or acquisition of real property and publicity would affect the value thereof. There's two different matters for the executive session of that reason.
First, second.
First.
Chuck,
Oh, sorry, what was that, Chuck? If you're good. Thank you.
You were looking a little dated, so.
Well, I heard Chuck for sure, so I appreciate that.
Is this something that we should pursue in the state?
An ag exemption on real property is nothing to do with sales tax. So if they have a commodity or product that they're selling, one of the questions is, are they a wholesaler or retailer? And the service is also taxable if it's recognized. But the way state sales tax works is the businesses have to file quarterly ST90s. Their certificate of authority, they collect it and charge it to the end use customer. And then that's reported to the state, and we get the 4% fee outside of the city of Oswego. So if there's a business name or whatever, I don't know, you ask, do you have contact with sales tax? Yeah, I have one as well, but it's on the criminal side.
Have that one.
But
I don't want that one.
I think the first thing would be to find out, A, if they have a business that's registered, and B, is what they're doing subject to sales tax or not. But every other business pays sales tax for the same, selling a metal roof or installing a metal roof. Well then, what's the reason? Is it a religious exemption? Is it on sales tax? It could be, depending on what they're doing. It could be taxable, it may not be taxable. So, but ordinarily, if they're operating a business, those businesses are subject to, collection and payment of sales tax, just like everybody else.
Yeah, and it's been a question that's been bounced around with other counties, and they're all in the same boat.
Sure, yeah.
The state's just pretty much saying no, can't, until we come up with a very good reason to try to tie it in, like you said, a metal roof that they aren't producing, or a window that's being built in Watertown and shipped down here. There just hasn't been any movement from the state.
Do they pay sales tax when they buy the equipment, and the products that they're putting into the ship? As I know, the lumber's not just on their land. They're
No,
bringing
it's not
lumber
that
in
lumber's
from
not
other
there.
places. They're bringing windows in. Are they paying sales tax when they purchase that stuff? Because the guys that sell it to them, obviously, you're gonna have to pay, you know, account for something for sales tax. And with the windows and the metal, so that's, I'm just, how do we
Yeah.
find that out? If we can, I hear what you're saying, you know, but, you know, I think they should be taxed. They're making enough money to walk around with, you know, in duffel bags.
Yeah.
And they let their horses shit all over the road. It's
We
like
have,
that.
I've seen, drive down Route 3, from Port Ontario, in the city, you'll see, a massive operation of Amish people there. They're selling, they're having logs come in,
Right.
it's not off their land,
Right.
obviously. And they're making these pads that the National Grid uses to lay down.
I've seen them too, yes.
On these wetlands, there's gonna be going to put the lines in. Tractor trailer loads of these, and they're getting
You're not selling them
$500 or
cheap to,
$600.
hey, National Grid.
I'll tell you right now, they're not paying attention. They haven't got a business. I also know that there's other things that they're doing. I'm not saying they're bad people, but they're not adhering to any codes or anything like that. I just think, one of the classes I take, it's like this. There's no religious exemption in the state of New York that exempts people from carrying workman's comp and general liability. None. They don't carry general liability. They don't carry any of that insurance. And I say, if they're gonna compete with local people, small businesses, they should pay the same thing as New Hampshire. There's no exemption. Nobody's taking the chance. If we're talking these mats, we're talking thousands of dollars. Okay? One of those mats they sell is like $800. Okay? I mean, they're just not following any of the rules. Sorry, that's the truth.
But I will say that I've never foreclosed on an Amish property. They come in with their bag.
They pay their taxes with cash.
Yeah, or they have their attorneys.
I'm not talking about.
No, I
foreclosure.
know, I'm just saying,
I'm not
that's,
talking-
yeah, no, it's just,
I'm talking about what's fair for everybody should be fair for everybody.
oh, I totally agree, I bought a nice little building from them.
And that building don't beat any kind of code, I'll tell you that right
Right.
now.
Right? Yeah.
I feel hostile about that, but.
I'm sure that New York State taxation.
Yeah, you know, the Amish religion, Mennonite religion is set up differently than other religions. Each has, you know, if they're doing something for the church, that could be exempt, for example.
And they can-
You know, there's religious corporations laws, some have dioceses that cover several parishes, some are under a state corporation, and they have local, and some have local corporations. So I don't know how they're set up, but you know, if they're doing things for the church, that could be one thing. If they're in business, certainly that's a wholly different thing.
Now, they can build buildings on farm buildings that house animals. They're exempt, those buildings are exempt from building.
Under an ag, that's a well, real property tax exemption.
They're exempt from code. But everything else, they have to live with it, I don't care who it is.
Mm-hmm.
I think you said if the business is registered, then they would have to pay taxes, but if you're not
No,
registered, they wouldn't.
all businesses that are engaged in taxable operations have to pay sales tax. But ordinarily, a business would have a certificate of authority from the state to collect the tax because the tax is paid by the purchaser and remitted to the state quarterly. And then after that's done, there's a true up, and then the county gets its 4% of the 8. But there are businesses out there that don't register, collect sales tax. But if they are registered or not, if there's a business name, the treasurer maybe will check that out to see if there's a name of a business with address, whether or not they're collecting sales tax at that address.
I would just say, I think it's a very, very complex issue. And I can see a lot of good points that you made, but on the other hand, I also don't want the spirit of America to, die and be taxed to death. That your neighbor wants to do a job for you without paying sales tax, why shouldn't they be able to? You know what I mean?
That's not what we're talking about.
Yeah, it is what we're
saying.
talking about, because I have an Amish neighbor, and if he wants to come fix my roof on my garage, and it's cheaper for me because he doesn't have to pay sales tax, then for me, that's a win. Where I could see it's a win if we collect the sales tax also from the other side.
One of my
So
things.
I don't know, but I just think there's a lot to it.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yes, there's a lot to it, but it's like this. If they repair a building under your property, it's unsafe.
Yep, but they're uninsured.
No. It's not per the code.
Yeah, I know.
If something happens, your insurance company probably won't pay.
I'm just saying for an example, but it'd be okay if my brother did it and he doesn't have insurance. And it
That's
might
not-
not be up to code,
that's-
I don't care.
That's really not true.
I'm a
anyway.
country hick who wants, people to have less government if possible. That's my belief, that's my core belief as a conservative person. Less government is better. So if they wanna put baked goods out by the road and somebody wants to take a chance at buying it, even if it's a dirty kitchen, let them. I'm not gonna buy it, but they should be able to.
Their dill pickups.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, it's very complex. It's more than just,
Well, and I hear what you're saying, and I think they get a lot of latitude, but, I mean, they've set up a manufacturing facility, they're making metal roofing.
Yeah.
Well, they're buying in rolls.
They buy the rolls and
Right,
run it into the.
They form them in the.
And by the way, it's
Been doing it for years.
it's the
Especially-
lowest,
Yeah, the old irrigation work.
and the material
Old Tyco.
is just junk. It's so thin. It's a poor quality, period.
Well, I'm a pro, like, use tax guy versus property tax guy.
Yeah.
If you're buying something, pay the fee. If you're using something, pay the service and pay the fee.
Yeah, I see. Look. Yeah.
Well, it's obviously very profitable. I mean, every one of them got something from it.
Yeah, there's no state program. So if they get it paid, a small guy trying to make a business for his
Yeah.
family, okay.
I'm
they
watching
should-
6, 7, 8-year-olds running the sawmill. Barefoot.
That's the way you grew up.
Yeah.
There's no difference.
Or you'd be arrested on that.
I just think the state is.
That's a
where we gotta
lifestyle.
get our
I'm not
information from.
criticizing the lifestyle.
I grew up that way on a farm. At 5 years old, you drive a tractor, you got shoes on.
Come a long way, Dave.
Yeah.
That's all
I got something. I've seen it more and more in the city of Fulton. Guys riding around on lawn tractor. I've seen it in Sweden.
Oh, yeah.
See the road?
Radar.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Radar.
Yeah.
Okay. Now,
We use them as transportation.
right, and you're saying that they're exempt from any of the laws because it's a tractor. Well, you guys from in the rural areas, no, yeah, okay, you use the tractor to go back and forth to the field. You don't use it to go around, go into 84 lumber, and pick up your lumber and haul it out to your, house or, pick up your, anything. But I just say, is there, what the hell can we do? Because I'm telling you, they're dangerous. They're riding around at night. They're riding around backing up traffic, and they stink. Because I don't know what the hell they're using, because it doesn't smell like diesel, and it's a bad gas that they've got. At least the one in Fulton does. I don't know about the ones in Oswego, but and the guys keep getting tickets, but they, there's nothing you can do. Is there, what the hell is, how do we label it as not being used as a tractor, the way a tractor is exempt from being used? Because it's not. know, I mean, if anybody comes up with an idea somewhere or something, just, you know, throw it to those guys that have got the city, you know, got people in the city that are saying, what can you do about these tractors, this guy on this tractor right around, now, they do, they put their life or whatever in a cart behind them, pulling along, going to Walmart, or not going to Walmart, but going to Aldi's. And they got kids in the, you know, in the back.
Well, there's no different than the average driver running at night with these horse and wagons.
Well,
and no
that,
lighting, no
I
safety, no
agree
nothing.
with you,
Okay.
there should be some kind of flashes on them or something.
Every year,
Yes.
they get, young kids get killed, okay, with these bugs.
You can't see them when you're coming up over the hill, even in the daylight if they're in the
No.
dark spots.
So,
But we got, I don't know, if somebody
it'd
can
be nice to solve the problem.
something else
Nobody wants to
somewhere.
address
that,
it.
So you said they're getting ticketed?
The one guy, I went in, when I was into, Ace, the guy said, yeah, he says, the guy's gotten like 25 tickets, but he just throws them away because there's nothing they can do about it because it's a traffic.
So the city of Syracuse on dirt bikes and four-wheelers started
Right.
doing it
Got
anytime
that,
in
yeah.
2000. And again, based on New York State Department of Vehicles. State law, they won't be kind of, but again, where we're at is you can get all the tickets in the world. It doesn't mean anything anymore. Because you don't take anybody in. You just give them another ticket, another ticket, another ticket. They throw them away. You know, back in the day, you stop somebody and you stop them for speeding and it says his license is suspended for failure to appear, you pull them in for a $200 bail. You can't. The only thing you can do now is give them another ticket. Bail reform. So that's why, I know we're against the diversion, but that's why at least the diversion made them pay something. Because most bad people aren't paying anything. Because he's getting another ticket. And most of the time the vehicle they're driving, plates aren't theirs, and the vehicle ain't theirs. So even if you take the plates and tow the vehicle, they're just gonna go drive it over somewhere else. But that is the cost of nobody being accountable for their actions, and that's what happens with those tickets.
No, I don't know, Phil, what do we do? All set? Thank you. We're looking for a motion.
I move.
Second.